Good Friday morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's Maddie, and I am here at the one, the only Magic Kingdom. Why? Because as I was leaving SeaWorld after doing Penguin Trek this morning, early, I decided, well, I'll see what kind of boarding group I'll get for Tianas Bayou Adventure. I got group 38, and I thought, I don't think I'm gonna make group 38. I need to get to, that's gonna get called pretty early. I need to get to SeaWorld to do Penguin Trek because that's gonna get very busy. And as I was leaving SeaWorld, I decided to check the virtual queue. They're at 31 right now. So it's a slow morning for Tiana's new ride. So we're here and I'm gonna head out. We're gonna do Tiana's Tijuana Adventure today. If it's not a shit show. Capital IF. We'll see. Let's get our ass in gear. Let's get inside Magic Kingdom and let's see what we're looking at. See if we can try Tiana's Tijuana Adventure. So I'm over here at the Polynesian, heading to Magic Kingdom, and just like before, when Paige and I tried to do this 2 weeks ago, we were about at the same boarding group, same time. Boarding group paused, which means the ride is down again. It's really not that busy here. Going on 11 o'clock. That's not bad at all. They have said that attendance has fallen drastically. This is usually when a lot of people start showing up, so maybe. Oh, that guest service line looks awful. Awful, I say. Well, Disney has taken down the 4th of July decorations. They left them up pretty late last year. Next time we see decorations, it'll be Halloween. Can you believe that? Wow. And then after Halloween, we'll have made the full circle back to Christmas again. I can't wait to see Christmas on Main Street. That's my all-time favorite. Halloween's cool. You can't beat Christmas, though. But one thing I call Disney on their BS for, bring back the damn dream lights on the castle. They increased prices yet again for the Christmas party. And no dream lights. Cheap projections. It's bullshit. While we're waiting for Tiana's Bayou Adventure to reopen, if it does, thought I'd point this out. This is from Sleepy Hollow this morning. This is the place that had the fruit waffles that everybody loved, the Nutella fruit waffle. Yeah, well, those are gone now. Now we get this Mickey waffle with bananas and some Nutella. The berries to the left are extra. It's $1 extra. Coffee and water, obviously extra. This right here, this tray, the waffle, the fruit, the water, and the coffee, just for me, that was $17.63. Just for me. Think about that again, $17.63. Multiply that by 4. That's almost $80 if you have a family. I think people are getting tired of the nickel and diming. Now, I'll let you know how this tastes, but the Nutella fruit waffle used to have everything all included. Now it's all extra. If you want berries, it's extra. If you want bananas, it's extra. It's freaking ridiculous. So, just thought I'd point this out. I also like to point out this is my most favorite place to sit, especially in the summer. It's right underneath the Liberty Square ticket office because this is the exit to the Hall of Presidents. As soon as those doors open, that ice cold air drifts right here, bounces off this brick wall here. It's like sitting in your own personal homemade air conditioner. Perfect. It's been about going on an hour now. So I think we'll walk over there and just check it out and see if there's even any water in the flume. If there's no water in it, then I'm probably gonna call it a day again and try again later. We'll see. As I was heading out, throwing my trash away, I actually heard somebody ask the cast member, they said, "Where's the bathroom?" I'm like, ye of little knowledge. There are none in this area. The bathroom is in the middle of the street. The river of piss and shit that's right in front of me. That runs all the way through Liberty Square. The theming is on point here. Because back in the day, they used to not have toilets in their houses, and people used to empty out their piss and shit buckets right into the streets. Which, hence the river of shit and piss right in front of me. So, if you find yourself in this land, just feel free to piss or shit in the street. Just kidding, don't do that. Yeah, but again, everybody can do at least everything one time at Disney. Oh, they got water in the chutes, but there's logs backed up over there. I don't know. Yeah, here we are once again. Yeah, there's all the logs piled up right there. Wow. Yeah, one of these days in the next 15 years, I might get a chance to ride this. Well, while we're here, let's take a look at the gift shop, shall we? At least we can do that. That should be open. The ones I truly feel bad for when this goes on are the people, obviously, that are here from out of state. They traveled a long ways, even came from out of the country to experience this attraction. And Disney can't manage to keep this thing running. And at $200 a day, on average, for tickets, that should not be. You know, people made the excuses, oh, that's what technical rehearsals are for. No, we're beyond that. Way beyond that. This should not be a thing. Almost a month into operation now. Oh, even the train's not running. Fantastic. Don't you feel good with your spending your $200 today? It's great, man. Yeah, all these people just waiting for maybe this thing to open up. Okay, so here's the queue. It's first time seeing this. Interesting. So this is the first time seeing the queue here. It's pretty much like it was for Splash Mountain. They changed a few things, but it's very, very similar. The problem when these rides get shut down like this is, one, they have to do a full evac, so that means they got to go through and evac each one of the logs, which takes time because there's a lot of them. They got to walk people out of the attraction safely, make sure the entire attraction's cleared. They got to get maintenance in here to figure out what the problem is, which I think, from what I understand, is this came from a cast member that Disney installed new sensors on this ride. And unfortunately, they did, like they've done everything lately, they did it on the cheap, and these sensors aren't good. And basically, they constantly think that something is in the ride track when there's not, so it triggers the sensor, which triggers an emergency stop, which then triggers a complete emptying of all the waterways. And then they got to go through the whole reset process, which takes forever. But in order to do that, you got to evacuate the whole attraction, and on and on and on. And they know it's a problem, and instead of replacing them all at once, because they know they're bad, they're doing them one at a time. And I'm sorry, but when you're spending either $1,600, $1,700 for an annual pass or $200+ a day for a day ticket, this crap's got to stop, man. They're clearly taking advantage of people. Like, I mean, the train's not even running today. So right now, you have Tiana's Bayou Adventure not running. You have the train not running. You go to Animal Kingdom, Kali River Rapids isn't running. Over at Studios, Rise of the Resistance isn't running. And Epcot, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure isn't running. Literally 1 to 2 rides at every park not working. It's insane. Compare that against Universal or even SeaWorld. Yeah, their rides go down from time to time, but nothing like this. Nothing like this. This is aggravating. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it's minor inconvenience. It really is. Really. There's far greater things that could be going on that'd be much worse than this. But it just sucks. It really does. The other issue that happens when these rides go down like this, especially these big, more popular rides, is that also backs up the people that have paid for the Lightning Lane. So once this reopens, now you've got to get all of the Lightning Lane riders through, which brings the standby to a halt. Co-op. Tiana must be a socialist. This is kind of, gosh, I haven't been in here in forever. Not since this was the Briar Patch. cool looking in here. So apparently these fireflies have been a big, big hit with people. Somebody made the comment, they said of all the people that they have seen with these fireflies, not one of them has been a child. But it's a very popular item. One of the things I do find interesting in here though is the briars are still there. Those are the old briar branches. They just filed off the thorns and put some greenery and some fireflies up there. Right there. So yeah, this is part of the old briar patch right here. You can see where the little dimples are on there. That's where the thorns used to be. I truly feel bad for the cast members that are part of that guest experience team, because man, they don't deserve it. They really don't, because of their Disney's incompetence to keep rides running. But man, they've just taken a shellacking from guests. That's not right either. But honestly, what other park could get away with this and not have it seriously impact attendance? None. But Disney, everybody makes excuses, just like even with this. Well, you know, it's a new ride. No. Velocicoaster opened up with minimal problems. Penguin Trek at SeaWorld's running. Little to no problems. DreamWorks Land at Universal running. Little to no problems. I mean, it's just, this is stupid. Yeah, I got a feeling this is going to be a minute. We'll take a wander. We'll see. I'm giving this till noon. If it's not done by noon, then we'll try it again another day. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to go in here and see number 45. That's what we're going to do. This is one of the last remaining opening day attractions from 1971. Ooh, looks like we might have timed this just right. There's a very cool fact on this Great Seal. You couldn't hear it before, now that everybody's kind of moved out of here. There's only one other place outside of Disney World that you can find this, and that is in Washington, D.C., inside of the White House. Let's go see some presidents. This is an amazing attraction. Theatra entrance. This is old school Disney. This is what they do best. You can tell it's a hot day. When this thing starts filling up, you can tell it's hot. Because the AC is nice and cold in here. This is also a fantastic place to take a break, get out of the heat.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for this reverent celebration of America's leaders, past and present. And now, Walt Disney World Resort proudly presents the Hall of Presidents.
This program is dedicated to the memory of Walt Disney. In 1971, his love for America inspired the creation of the Hall of Presidents, a place to celebrate the optimism and goodwill he saw at the heart of the American story. Walt's vision was to honor the nation by honoring the American presidency.
It is 1783, and the smoke is clearing in the wake of the Revolutionary War. Over the course of 8 grinding years, General George Washington has led a force of shopkeepers, farmers, and Native American allies to victory over the greatest military power in the world. A new nation has been born, independent and free. The founders must form a national government. In 1787, through months of passionate debate, they create a written constitution. For the country's highest office, they imagine something new in the history of the world. A leader not born to power like a king or queen. A leader who has not seized power through conquest. A leader not separate from the people, but elected by the people, from among the people. We, the people. This is a new idea, an American idea. The idea of a president. George Washington's stature and bearing have marked him as a leader. His integrity has made him a great one. Washington knows that many generals who have led successful revolutions make themselves dictators or kings. Instead, he steps down from power and retires to his home, Mount Vernon. The world takes note, and George Washington becomes the symbol of American ideals. In the first presidential election, it's Washington by a landslide. The only doubt seems to be his own. He writes, "Integrity and firmness is all I can promise. Integrity and firmness is exactly what we need." Everything he does as president will set a model for his successors. His final act may be the most important of all. After 2 terms, with no term limit in the Constitution and amid overwhelming support to stay in office, he steps down once again and hands power back to the people. He wants us to speak, to elect a new president. The president's own inner strength and depth of character changed the course of history. Lincoln had come up the hard way on the American frontier. He once said he's driven by a desire to leave the world a little better place for having lived in it. The war rages. Lincoln fights to preserve the Union and end slavery. Neither is a sure thing. At Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, 6 months after one of the bloodiest battles of the war, the president dedicates a cemetery to the thousands of soldiers who died there, in words we can never forget.
"47 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives, that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
The blood of over 500,000 Americans is spilled in this Civil War. President Lincoln's enduring hope is to give true meaning to the sacrifices of so many, to lead us to that new birth of freedom. With the end of the war and the end of slavery, a new birth truly begins. A young Theodore Roosevelt is retreating from New York politics and personal tragedy. In the Badlands of North Dakota, he rethinks his life and the life of his country. He returns stronger in body and spirit. His renewed energy is just what his country needs. American industry is booming, but social tensions are rising. A progressive movement is bubbling up, pushing for change, and change is needed in the working and living conditions in cities. The gap widens between rich and poor. The demand for change grows stronger. Teddy Roosevelt is a knight on a crusade. He speaks with force and vitality in clear terms that make colorful headlines at a time when mass market newspapers have become the new media. To define his foreign policy, he borrows a phrase from an African proverb: speak softly and carry a big stick. But his greatest accomplishments are made at home. He breaks up giant monopolies, protects workers' rights, and calls for a square deal for all Americans, rich and poor, capitalist and wage earner.
And a square deal for every man and every woman in the United States.
He calls on America to be as great as the natural grandeur of its lands. He calls us to believe we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And we do believe.
Tonight's attacks on England are perhaps the most widespread of the war in the course of the day.
But an even greater challenge dominates his final years in office: the Second World War.
We must be the great arsenal of democracy. This is an emergency as serious as war itself.
We stun the world with our production. When bombs fall on U.S. troops in Pearl Harbor, he calls us to fight on the war front and sacrifice on the home front.
The more glorious the triumph. So spoke America in the year 1776. So speak Americans today.
The world changes. The country changes. And yet, in one sense, what we need most from our presidents has never changed. A guiding vision that calls forth the best that America can be.
Will outer space be developed for the benefit of all mankind? Or will it become another focus for the arms race? The choice is urgent, and it is ours to make.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
But really, it's all of us who must overcome the crippling legacy of bigotry and injustice. And we shall overcome.
One of the agreements that President Sadat and Prime Minister Begin are signing tonight is entitled A Framework for Peace in the Middle East.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. You have lost too much, but you have certainly not lost America.
I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you.
Loving this country requires the willingness to speak out for what is right, to shake up the status quo. That's America.
Our presidency is no longer just an idea. It is an idea with a proud history. Ladies and gentlemen, the presidents of the United States of America. leaders. Ronald Reagan, George Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump.
My fellow citizens, no event could have filled me with greater anxieties than that notification on the 14th day of April 1789 that you had selected me to lead our nation. But it was with the confidence of my fellow citizens that I took an oath. 35 simple words that have been repeated by every American president throughout history.
The presidency of the United States is a role unique in the world, an office entrusted to each president by us, we the people. Therein lies the genius of that new idea, now over 200 years old. A new idea our presidents have turned into a great American idea again and again.
That concludes our presentation. Please gather your belongings and exit through the door on the right. Open doors on the right.
Yeah, I'm walking right out across from my favorite spot to sit and have breakfast. Right there. Well, let's go take one more look, see where we're at. Oh, we have empty logs now. So it would appear that this is going to open up at some point soon. However, the trouble is, I'm still 7 boarding groups away, and they got to get all of the pay-to-play people through this ride now too. That's not ridden in the last 2.5, 3 hours. So right here, I've been standing here for a few minutes now. The logs are piling up right here again. Yep. There's something wrong, man. It's not supposed to do that. That sensor is supposed to trip once the log ahead of it gets into a safe distance, which is pretty much just around the corner. They're not supposed to be stacking up like that. They're gonna get so many logs backed up here, it's gonna trip another sensor, which is gonna shut everything off. It just happened. The waterfall here just shut off, which means all the rest of this is going to be shutting off at some point. Well, everybody, they are all stuck again. This thing was running and now everything's stuck again. Disney really needs to just be honest with people and tell everybody that, listen, this new system didn't work out quite how we had planned. We're going to close the ride for an undisclosed amount of time until we can fix this right, and then we will reopen it. That's the only way to do it. I'll tell you one thing, I've had this happen once before. You do not want to get stuck right there in the middle of summertime. That sun just beats on you unmercifully. It is hot. That's a hot place to be. If that waterfall is still on, it's okay. But if they shut that waterfall off like that, you bake right there. That is a miserable spot to be in. Well, all my Main Street Fire Rescue, MSFR faithful, we have to try again another day, man. It's 12:30, it's hot as H out here, and I really don't feel like sitting out here much longer to wait on this. As I said, even if this does reopen in the next hour or so, I still have 7 boarding groups ahead of me, plus we got to get all of the lightning lanes, the people that have paid to play over the last 3 or 4 hours through this now. So gonna be a long, hot wait. You should not be coming into the park right now. Should not. Why people choose to start their day at Magic Kingdom at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when it's 102 out, beyond me. If you're watching this, give you a tip. Don't do that. Get here early in the morning, leave now, like the rest of everybody's doing here, and come back at 5:30 or 6. You, your body, and your family and their bodies will thank every bit of you for that. Look at all these crazy people. It's nuts if you're going to start your day right now. You're crazy.
Welcome to the Transportation and Ticket Center, folks.
You're absolutely out of your mind. I'm telling y'all, do not start your day at this time of day at Magic Kingdom. It's a bad idea. There's people, I walk past a family, everybody's screaming at each other. Because apparently the dad called the son an idiot. And the girlfriend or wife's like, that was rude, why'd you call him an idiot? He goes, because he can't freaking walk right. Jeez, it's just getting started, people. Don't do it. Stay out of here. It's a bad time to be here. Throughout the fall and winter months, yeah, it's okay, but it's still the most crowded time of day. Summer months, man, don't do this to yourself. It's not worth it. It gets so much better after about 6 o'clock. So much better. Let that sun go down a little bit. But man, these people, they're just, you can just see the tension, man. You just hear it, feel it. It's nuts. And to be fair, a lot of these people have probably been pushing the envelope for the last how many ever days they've been here. And of course it's summer, it's hot every day here. And I have a feeling a lot of people that come here don't realize how hot it really is, because I see it in Facebook and the Disney groups all the time. Well, how hot is it really? Is it really as bad as people say it is? Come and find out. What is it, FAFO? Yeah, give it a try, FAFO. If you're gonna spend that kind of money to be here, I would come here when it's not 115 degrees in the shade. What's up, everybody? It's Matt, and I'm going to put in a little bit different of an ending here into this vlog. I was actually currently working on the editing for my Tianas Bayou Adventure / makeshift change plans because it was broken down, and going to see the Hall of Presidents and featuring that. And then going back to Tianas Bayou Adventure, it's still not working, in me saying, to heck with it, I'm going home because it's hotter than you know what out. And so I was editing that, and while I was editing, you know, here we are, it is the evening of July the 13th, Saturday night, and all of the news outlets start blowing up all at once with news, breaking news, that former President Trump was, an assassination attempt was made on him at a rally tonight in Pennsylvania. And I thought, no, is this for real? Yeah, unfortunately it was. And from what I understand, he's fine. The bullet grazed his ear. The shooter is taken care of, if you will. And I'm in disbelief, actually, because I'm sick and tired of all of the violence, and it's getting to insane levels. I mean, we've got whack jobs out there, and on both the right and the left. Okay, I'm not, you know, I am very much a conservative, but both sides have got people that are very, very extreme. And unfortunately, what we've got going on now, and you know, the media and social media and everything else has drummed up people's emotions so much that people are taking this shit to extreme levels. You know, regardless of whatever political side you're on, or even if you're down the middle or you just don't care, this kind of stuff should never happen. You know, I personally don't care for the current president we have. That doesn't mean anything like what happened tonight should even be thought about happening. That we cannot be a society like that. That shit has got to stop. Enough is enough. You know, thank goodness it looks like President Trump's okay. I mean, his Secret Service was on it instantly. I saw a replay of the video clip because it's going all over the news right now. And holy moly, it's intense. You know, they were on him like crazy to protect him. But I just want to say, man, we now more than ever need a lot of freaking prayers. We are so divided as a country. And unfortunately, people let their political beliefs, they let everything else like divide them. You know, Republican or Democrat, conservative or liberal, whatever it may be. Why do we got to hate each other? Why can't we just like what we like and then we still get along? And you know what? There's going to be times when your side loses and the other side wins, and then the other side wins and the other side loses. Every time you lose or things don't go right doesn't mean that things were rigged or that it was, it was false or whatever. It's just we're in this mindset now that nothing bad can ever happen, and if it does or things don't go our way, then it's because things are rigged or whatever. And I don't know, man. We're in a bad way in this country right now, and this right now just further just proves the point that we're going down a very, very bad road. You know, whether you like or dislike somebody that's running for a political office, if you don't want them in there, then just vote, man. Vote. That's your American right. Don't go and try to harm somebody. I mean, what is going on? So I'm irritated. I'm sad. I'm very frustrated at what our country is coming to right now. This cannot happen. And I do commend all of the political or the people in politics among all sides right now. And they're all, condemning this. Republican and Democrat and moderates and in-betweens and whomevers, independents. Nobody agrees with this. Nobody. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. So, thank goodness former President Trump's okay. And, knowing him, he'll be back out there before too long, if not tomorrow, the way he goes. He's a tough man. You love him or hate him, he's very tough. And he's, he loves his country and he wants to see what's best for his country. And I applaud him for that. So, anyway, just want to throw that in there. And to conclude my other vlog, we didn't get a chance to ride Tianas Bayou Adventure because it kept breaking down. It got to be almost 1 o'clock, still wasn't up yet. It ended up coming online later on, like about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but by that point, it's so warm and there's so many people that you got to make up, for like I said, the lightning lanes, and then you still got to get through all the boarding groups, and we'll try it again another day, maybe next week. So no big deal. We'll get on it one of these days, but it is frustrating when this ride's been open for over a month now and they still can't keep it running. It's unbelievably aggravating. So anyway, it's not been over a month. It's been going on a month, a couple weeks now. So anyway, with that, I hope you all have a fantastic night. Please, we need to pray for America. We need to get people back into their right minds again. This shit's got to stop. We can't keep doing this. No more violence. We need people to be praying for peace. We need a lot of people that are, as Gerald Saleni says, we need more warriors for the Prince of Peace. Enough of this violent crap. So, I'll see you all very soon. Have a good night. And again, lots of prayers for America. We need them right now. Have a good night, everybody. Main Street Fire Rescue out of service. See ya.